What up, Barth? J80. Bad close there, fam. Bad close. Yo, what up, fam? Happy Monday. Lots to talk about, lots to catch up on. Let's get to it. Although I can listen to the rest of the song. Really good song. Let's get down to it. Um, yeah, let's get down to it. All right, so I want to talk about first. We're gonna kind of go over uh the cycle here, fam. I think it's really important to talk about the cycle. Everyone has their own thoughts on what the cycle is. Does it have to do with halving all this stuff? And everything I've learned, at least from um, the people I've learned from, it has nothing to do with the halving. So I think it's good to kind of break this down and talk about where we are in time in respects to time and why this is important. Okay, so top to bottom, right? Um, 364 days right here. This is 2017, 2018, basically a year, right? Top to bottom, 364 days. All right, everyone following there. We got bear market. We'll call this period the bear market period, right? And this is just a larger time frame kind of look. Here's the bear market we just kind of went through. And then from here, we can kind of measure out our consolidation, right? Our up move and sideways consolidation. So from low to, let's say, next high, about 203 days right there. And then hold on. This is kind of how I work down time. I think it's really important to talk about this. But 203 days from kind of making that lower high, our nice first move up, and then we had whatever you want to call this, 448 days of chop. Really, the total I think is the most important here. But from low to before the bull run breakout, right? This was the bull run breakout. This was underneath that previous highs. You can kind of see how we broke out here, the meme line, whatever you want to call it, lower highs. Sorry, higher lows and lower highs here. So we had some lower highs, higher lows. We had this huge consolidation. Just talking about the previous cycle. But total from bottom to breakout, it was 651 days. So let's just talk about that. I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. 651 days. That's it right there. And just to put this in respects to what candle this is, so everyone can kind of see in detail, this is the candle for 600, basically 651 days or 644 days. This is the 4-week chart, so the days are a little bit off there, but you just gotta, you know, round up in this point. So there's about 6 or 7 days off. So ideally, right, if we're breaking out of a bull run, this was it. This was kind of the bottom. We should start breaking out here. Now I'm gonna go over lots of different variables. Just talk about from experience what I see. Talk to a lot of people that I trust in my corner and what they see. And so, in kind of the bigger scheme of things, believe it or not, most EMAs and MAs, the flow of this is bullish. Okay, so we'll get down to the flow. But before I get down there, I'm going to show kind of, so this is the cycle, fam. Okay, bear market, we should essentially, this could be the bottom breakout if this is going to break out. And then, of course, we will have naturally a nice 420 days from here to go in our bull run. Right here, going to October of next year. So ideally, if we started our bull run, we have started about, let's see, 6 weeks ago. That's what the cycle says. Now, this, of course, cycle hasn't really been broken. It's a little bit different from 2015. So we're not going to go over that complete, all of that, but you could measure that out and do your own math here. Let's see here. Got 420 days down, bottom to breakout, right? Breakout's kind of here. Why is that breakout? Well, that's the resistance. was it 784 days. So yeah, so we're right there on time. If we're going to go into a bull run, now is the time. And also, again, this time is important. I think people need to realize that it's either going to break out here at this mark or we're going to go back down. So we got to kind of see how everything plays out. But via time, I think it's important to kind of to count out the days, understand where we are in the cycle. It has actually nothing to do with the halving. This is just counting days and every move and previous cycles, bull runs, etc. And technically, it's repeated since really 2015. I mean, this is a little bit off. 420 days, 784, 364, 651, 364, and now we're at 644. A little bit further, we're actually at, close to 700. So technically, 784 would be the max time. You go past that, we haven't made a new highs, then it's exactly what I'm going to talk about next. So I'm going to remove all the drawings, go over this chart real quick. All right, so, and then we're going to talk about the larger range here. So if you were to just, have been doing this a long time, and you look at this is a large range. Okay, fam, that's what this is. It's the large range. We got a little deviation, believe it or not, below this range. You use this wick. This is our deviation below the FTX crash. And then we have a little deviation above. And now we are sitting above. We haven't closed quite a 4-week candle now above the box, but we're sitting above this resistance, which is a good look for the bulls. I would argue, as I said on Twitter, that as long as the bulls don't lose 66K, they are in good shape to really attack the highs, maybe push a bull run. But if you were to talk about kind of this as being a larger range, we are at a larger range here. We actually have compression on volatility, which isn't the greatest look here at resistance, which concerns me. And historically, fam, if you just literally buy the 4-week 50 MA, that's what this line is. This is the fair value price. Okay, so if you just take away the whole shebang here, right? This is the Bitcoin fair value price. What does that mean? It means that no matter what happens, okay, we're going to go over some examples, like what happens, right? This will continue to kind of climb, steady climb. You see how it has a nice little steady climb over time, right? And this will be the Bitcoin fair value price. So over time, bull run ish, if you want to talk about Bitcoin's lifespan, yeah, it's going to reach 200K at some point. All right. If you just use this line alone and see the steady state of this line, again, you could take away the price action here and just simply see it, right, as is, then you can see that we're kind of going up at this nice logarithmic curve on the 4-week 50 MA, and that in about 2028, the fair value price of Bitcoin will be 200K. That's 2028, fam. We're in 2024, going into 2025. Last quarter of 2024 we're on right now, which is pretty significant. So, I think that if you're in the long-term strategy here, then you don't need to buy right here. All right, that's like my view. Like, long-term strategy is not buying right here. I prefer buying the fair value price, and I can wait. And I did buy the fair value price. I bought most of my crypto here, and I sold it already. Okay, I've sold all my crypto. What I have some moon bags. Tend to have a lot of Solana, but overall, I think long-term strategy, you just be patient here, wait for that next dip, next bigger correction, and then you pick it up, and then you see where we go next. But this to me looks a little bit like a range, okay, macro range. Now, if you were to come even kind of talk about lower time frames, this is the 4-week exactly, right? Or let's go over the quarterly real quick, because again, we have a lot to talk about. Let's talk about the quarterly, right? The quarterly sits here at this kind of area, right? This is the quarterly, and it doesn't look too bad right now. In fact, I would argue, if you're talking about the quarterly candle, and I said this kind of in my Discord, if we don't move sooner than later, this quarterly candle is not going to close that well. Okay. So what I mean is we have a little bit amount of time here to break above and break out into our bull run. If we don't break out into our bull run, fam, then the quarterly and the yearly will close much worse. All right. So we're kind of running out of time. Now look at this. Again, here's the yearly candle. Okay. We've been sitting up here on this yearly candle, just so you know, we've been sitting up here at that 60, 65K price. We've been sitting up here for 6 months, fam. And we're still just trickling underneath previous all-time high. So that previous all-time high, sure enough, is important. Okay, that previous all-time high is definitely important. All right, again, liquidity grab. See these wicks. All right, here's our previous all-time high, about 69K, I believe. It doesn't need to be exact, but I have it at 68.9. And as you can see on this 5-day, especially the 5-day that just closed, all right, we're still making lower highs. We had this liquidity grab up here. And to me, I'm telling you right now, family, I cannot stress this enough. I can smell it. It's distribution. And what's kind of hard to see from this distribution, and this is not the greatest what do you want to call it, rising wedge, but it is a rising wedge. The tough part about this distribution, fam, is that it means we're going to go lower. We're going to go back into this range where we'll kind of consolidate. I want to see a consolidation here, assuming I'm correct, right? Go down here, have a lower range. This is when you buy. This is the fair value price, right? And then we move to bull run all-time highs. Now, the 5-day that just closed, and they knew exactly what they were doing. And I say this all the time. They knew exactly what they were doing. The market makers knew what they were doing. We pumped up there. Go over here to the hourly real quick. Okay, we pumped up there. Had a nice little retest of this previous range. Now I'm going to kind of delete all this. Getting down to lower time frames right now. They had a nice retest. This spot, right? Okay. And that's this looks pretty clean to me. Retest. In fact, they know what they're doing. So if you look at the 5-day, the 5-day had a chance to actually close green. Okay? It had a chance to close green. Just a couple hours ago, if you look at the 5-day open, 67,600, 67K point 600. Just a couple hours ago, we were green. Okay? Last hour we dumped, dumping a little bit more. Why are we dumping more? Well, retested. And now we're gonna have to go down here and retest the pressure of this wick. This is really important level here at 66K. I think we could range here for a little while. Want to see a little bit deeper. So we're gonna long that, short this. Can't really be bearish here until we lose this lower box. And why is this lower box important? Just historically here, from this previous price action, right? Kind of been a good level, right? Support. This is when we finally had accepted of range below it, okay? Accepted range above it, below it, and now holding this 66K, holding this level is going to be important for the bulls. So we're going to go down there, test out that lower range, and see where we go from there. Now, I think it's important to be realistic here, fam, and say that everyone is expecting this bull run. And we're in a period that is high supply. And what I mean by that is that in this larger range that we're looking at, all right, this larger, people want to call it a flag. I don't see it as a flag, but this larger kind of range, this is such an ugly rising wedge, but that's how I see it as. This larger range right here is very distributive in nature. and there's large amount of supply up here. And so what has happened is if you can see, if you we go back to like a larger time frame, like the weekly, and we look at the whole Bitcoin chart, what has happened is people have accumulated, all right, and we'll just talk about time. All right, let's go back to the oldest time. We'll say before let's see, what is this, 1400, okay, before 1400. Now this math's not going to be perfect, but before we broke out here into 2017 bull run, we had 2000 plus days or so, right, in this cycle, and then we had 2,700 days after that. Now, if you understand Bitcoin, all right, and this is my argument, if you understand Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is this asset that's deflationary, has these halvings, okay, let me explain to you if you don't understand Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, when it came out here, you could buy a mining rig, right, and hook it up. Back then, the technology was not as good. The graphics cards weren't as good. So your mining capabilities weren't that good. But back then, right, at some point back here in history, I think the Bitcoin reward for mining was, I forget what it was like 16. So every time you helped the chain, right? You can look this up. You got a certain amount of Bitcoin. Now you got more Bitcoin back here, fam. Okay, more Bitcoin back here than you did up here. All right, so you got a lot more Bitcoin. This right here is the supply I'm talking about. All right, so we're talking about 5,700 days, 2,000. So we'll just say a third. And a third of the time that Bitcoin has existed, right? This chart that we're looking at, this is 33% of the time. That has been the period where most of the Bitcoin was obtained. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw a stat out there, can quote me on this, it's fine. More than half of the total supply of Bitcoin was obtained below 3K. All right, so think about that. 10.5 million Bitcoin was obtained below $3,000. So if you have 10.5 million Bitcoin that was either mined or bought below the price of, we'll just be conservative here, we'll say below the price of $5,000. All right, and we're seeing this distribution, right, of a long range at previous highs. So here we are, 231 days. We spent some time up here distributing here, 84 days. And then we had that little 35 days. So we've had a lot of time up here. And history says that this is consolidation before a bull run. But if you do the math here, fam, and I think the math's really important. If you do the math here, fam, this is a huge supply zone. All right. People that bought or obtained their Bitcoin below $5,000, okay, are selling here. Now you got to realize that this Bitcoin that was obtained during this price has changed hands. People sold some here, bought some more. I get it. It's not a fixed number. It certainly isn't. I will not argue that. But if I bought Bitcoin below $5,000 and I held it and I missed this top, I'm definitely selling here. I hate to tell you that. I'm taking my 12 or 15x, fam. I'm taking it. I'm taking a 12 or 15x. Why wouldn't you? From your original investment, 12, 15x on an 8-year return period. Are you kidding me? All right. So for me, this is very distributive. It's not a bull flag. All right. People that call it a bull flag, this is the problem with the bull flag. Giant bull flag. First off, I've never seen such an ugly bull flag. All right. Second off, I've never seen a bull flag on a weekly chart. on any asset. All right. But if we're going to talk about this being a bull flag, all right, just like I argued, Inge isn't in a bull flag, and I made the same argument. This to me is not a bull flag by one wick. This wick. And we don't have just one wick, we have multiple breaker wicks. In fact, this is a falling wedge, broadening wedge, if anything. All right, so I'll make it something like this, or we'll put it down here, right? Which looks like another deviation, and we'll just kind of follow these. This is a falling, so it's not a bull flag. You can't call it that. Could it break out and look like a bull flag? It certainly could, but does it mean it's a bull flag? No. All right. Doesn't mean it's a bull flag. Now I'm going to go over some alts, and I'm going to talk about alts and their nature, their distributive nature. But for right now, Bitcoin needs to go. Again, we go down here to this 1 hour range. Bitcoin needs to, all right, test that 66. Just dig out that wick down here. Go a little lower. Fine with me. And I think they want to hold this, but I mean, I think it's important to stay bullish until they lose that 66K. So come down here, wick into this. We got a 1 hour, pretty strong volatility. That 5-day was really ugly, fam. They had a chance to close that. Very top like 5-day. Lower highs as well. So lower highs, lower highs. Notice this, fam. All right. The weekly made a higher high, but the 5-day didn't. Okay. 5-day didn't. So don't get tricked out because this weekly, technically, right? Nothing's really changed. Go over here to the 3-week. Technically, nothing's really changed. In fact, we got expansion on this 3-week, which is not a good look. RSI is still pretty hot in these larger time frames. But let's go to some alts real quick. Ended up long in this. Now going to regret it possibly, but let's talk about, well, let's go. I want to go over Inge real quick, and then we're gonna go over Solana. And the reason I'm gonna go over Inge is because Inge actually has a really good bearish structure. All right, this is Inge. Okay, we're still trending down. So they're distributing this new shiny coin, Inge. Everyone's all about it. I was the only person that told you that was distribution. That wasn't a bull flag right here. This is the 3-week, of course. Nobody else wanted to tell you that that was bearish. We ended up breaking down this, and it's been downhill since, fam. In fact, I'm interested to see the volatility. Yeah, volatility is okay for right now, but we get some type of expansion down, that's not going to be a good look for Inge. But Inge, right, had its distribution period. It has less supply than Solana. So here's its distribution period. Here's its downhill. Solana, okay. Lower highs, higher lows. Still distributing, in my opinion. And breakdown here. Want to see some time spent here. And then voila. All right. Another good look is the 4-week. Clean up this chart real quick. Hold on. All right, here's the 4-week. Dead cat bounce. Still lower highs. Still nothing's really changed. Yeah, for that. Distribution, man. Here's a really good look. Actually, Solana looks like a sell. You have 2 0 volatility candles right here, flat candles, and now you have expansion on the red down. It has nothing to do with having though. You legend letter takes for argument's sake. Can I say some bullish arguments and let me know your thoughts, bro? It has nothing. The cycle has nothing to do with having. I went over that at the beginning, Joey. The weekly RSI. Um, I don't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't say the market structures bullish. Maybe on like lower time frames, but let me show you something, Joey. All right. For right now, this is a really good look. Okay. So like on lower time frames right now, just so you know, okay, this is a really good look. This is PA 101. All right, PA 101. Here is typical, right? So the move from 59K is over. This suggests it's over. I'm gonna get a regular trend line. Right? This made bearish divergence. Don't even need to look at it. Guaranteed it did. On the 1 hour. Boom, boom. It didn't actually. All right, but now we are downtrending. All right, so that moves over. You go to like a larger time frame. So far, you're right, Joey. This is still has a trend up, but Joey, to your sake, let's just say to your sake, Joey, there is no bullish or bearish. All right, there is only a range. So we can sit here and argue all day that it's bullish, but if you draw the simplicity of this, right, this is a giant range, and up here you short, and down here you long. All right, so there's no bullishness here. I do like a look. I do like the look of holding 60K, 66K. If we can hold 66K, the reason for that is this consolidation right here. I think this is really important. All right, which kind of going below it a little bit, but these wicks right here, right? Acceptance above 66 is great. Yeah, well, Joey, the thing is though, like, so this one right here, if you drop, this is the problem, right? I've seen this before. We lose this, right? Let's say we lose this, but then we kind of get low volatility right here. They could reverse it, and that is still a bullish trend. See? As long as they don't break that 53, 54K, then it's definitely bull run vibes. But for right now, I would just say play the range how it is. Don't get emotional. This is very distributive to me. A lot of alts are showing that. Let's go over Jupe, because I did go over this on. This is kind of what I'm looking for across the board. But like for Jupe, it's an easy buy here for me. If the 2-day, oh, this could be good, right? So if the 2-day here crosses, which it's like it's crossing, it's getting really close to crossing. We need to push up, but you see how close this is to crossing? Here's a cross bearish, short Jupe, don't buy back in, wait, failed to cross it bullish. Now we're getting really close to crossing it. If they can hold the price, right, across the board, this is going to cross bullish. If they don't hold the price, Bitcoin loses 66K, Jupe will not cross this, and then therefore it will go again lower. Now, for right now, if you're buying in that 60, 65 to 75 range, it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. This structure as well looks pretty bullish. We're making higher highs, although it's a little bear flaggy for me. It's not the perfect bear flag, but it is a little channely like. Regardless, Jupe looks really good right here, but key resistance definitely is 110. Um, just judged by this wick, top of these candles. They have 15% unlock in 8 days. Tia, that would be dummy months moves. Uh if Tia's unlocking, wouldn't it be bearish? That looks pretty bearish there. It crossed bullish, but it did nothing with it. A lot of these are consolidating. Like, look at this. Let's look at Tia real quick. Just like unbiased, right? It's not the worst. I'm not gonna lie. This is not the worst consolidation. Some of these alts like Jupe, for example, doesn't look that bad. They just don't. I mean, like, look at Jupe in the bigger grand scheme of things, right? We break out. We got a 2-day cross. Ugh, I don't know. It's up to Bitcoin now, fam. If Bitcoin can hold. Joey, honestly, I'm a big Solana Jupe fan. I don't really have too many coins outside Solana and Jupe. Solana and Jupe, though. Yeah, Jupe looks really good. It does. Yeah, it's good to be in Sol and Jupe. Like for I think like I am just involved in Sol, so I'm gonna get into a new NFT project soon that's on Solana, and I just hold a lot of Solana. I also have like 2K over 2,000 Solana, not $2,000, but 2,000 Solana coming back from FTX liquidators from having an FTX account, which I bought at 35. So imagine that. I got 2,000 Solana coming back from FTX liquidators that I bought at 35. You know how many people are like me out there? $10 billion worth of people out there that got Solana probably cheaper than they own now. Yeah. And so for me, for me, that's not even a lot, to be honest. I had a lot more than that. I had a lot more than that. I sold a lot of my Solana at like 75 to $90. Probably sold a lot of my Solana. I didn't even sell at the highs, but I tell you what, I bought Solana in the 20s. So I took my profits, and I don't have to catch every bottom, and I don't have to sell every top. Yeah, I think the Ether tech is just not there. I don't know. I just think Solana's the better tech, my opinion. But yeah, we'll see about Ether. We'll see about Ether. Check out Ether real quick. So Ether doesn't even have like a 2-day cross yet. Although it looks really good broken out from this. All it did was it retested this. So not the greatest look by Ethereum, excuse me. Yeah, not the greatest look. It's got to hold this. Wow. Ethereum is a fucking cuck. Look at that shit, dude. Expansion down. We got expansion down on Bitcoin. I don't know, fam. I just think play the range. Range highs, you short. Range lows, you long. If Bitcoin breaks out, I want to see volatility go with it. So the weekly has an interesting look. If we're going to talk about kind of the weekly has an interesting look. It has a hold right here. I've seen this before, so we could just come. They could just hold it here. They could wick it down and then buy back at the end of the week. But this is a hold for right now. As long as 66K holds, I think Bitcoin can make a move for the highs. If it makes a move for the highs, I'd like to see some type of false breakout, or right, or you have expansion, right? Expansion with the move out of here. All right. So this right now doesn't have that expansion. Could easily turn around. I like the weekly look. It looks like they swept the lows there. Yep, they did. Just like we talked about at the beginning of the stream or 15, 20 minutes ago. So they're going to hold this level for right now. But I think like staying cautious. If we lose 66K, bam, it's going to be 62K. And then if we lose 62K, it's very likely 55K. The weekly 50 MA is what I'm looking at. The weekly 50 MA. But anyways, fam, if you're catching the end of this, go watch the VOD. There'll be a video recording. I'm going to try to do more of these. I've been slacking on the streams. It's my fault, fam. But definitely going to try to do more of these. And I think, again, as long as we hold 66K, could definitely make a move for the highs. If we make a move for the highs, watch out for a fake out. Easily can go up there, hit 75K. A low volume breakout would be a fake out. Okay, low volume breakout. That's what a fake out is. But if we get some volume picking up as we make that move towards the highs, I'm definitely going to be bullish. But, you know, Solana holds 155, can make the move to 180. 180. Jupe can make a move to 110, 115. And as long as it holds 90, and then Bitcoin again holds 66K, no reason we can't see 70, 71, 72K. We will see. But I would say if you're coming in late, see some more viewers popping up. If you're coming in late, fam, go watch the VOD. I kind of broke this down. This is the time, right? This is the time that they would be breaking out, that we should break out. They have to move the time is not on the bull side. So this is a weekly getting really close. You know, we got a couple weeks left. I'd say like 8 weeks left before this crosses bearish. But time, right? These EMAs and MAs are catching up to the price action. Time says we got to move up. Otherwise, we're going to close a pretty ugly yearly candle. And if we close an ugly yearly candle, then kiss your bull market goodbye in 2025. All right? Mad love.